doing?
I didn't receive the link to open my account. I will use my wife. Can you send
Oh,
the link?
well, make sure we got the link. Make sure, we have all that. That's good. Look, if you accidentally get unmuted on the call, totally fine, but I will likely make a joke out of it because I think that's what we should do
No, no,
when
I'm
those
telling you,
things happen.
I mean, the link to see you.
Yep.
I did not get it from the internet, from the.
All right. Oh, okay. Here we go. What's up, Nancy? How we doing?
Hey, what's going on?
I'm good. I'm good. We'll give everybody what do we think? 2 minutes? So we start at 2 after the hour? At what point should we get started? Um, let's see. If you don't mind, if you don't mind dropping in the chat where you're calling in from. I love seeing where everybody is at today. Dusty is not here, and he asked me to fill in. So you're getting me. I'm Tim Macy, if you don't know who I am. I will do my best to drop you guys a couple. Come on nows, just so you're having some, uh, you know, some comfort level, like your regular Monday call. Come on now. Dusty's got such a good come on now. I shouldn't even try. The other thing is, I love seeing you guys. I actually like Zoom calls. I think they're great, but they're always better when your camera's on. And so if your camera's not on, this is a judgment-free Monday. So if you haven't done the makeup, if the hair's not perfect, if you're, whatever, making breakfast or lunch, I forget what time it is, all good. Like, let's throw some cameras on so we can get to know each other. We can see each other. We can have a solid day. And so if you don't know, today is May the 4th. It's a Star Wars holiday. I'm pretty sure that's been made up by fans like me. So I've got a little Darth Vader barbecuing shirt on. I don't know if you could tell, but that's Darth Vader and a grill. So that's it. That's all I got. I don't have any lightsabers. I feel like a bad Star Wars fan for not having any lightsabers. But the shirt's gonna have to do. So if you are ready to get rolling with our Monday call, can you drop a come on now in the chat for Dusty? Let's drop a good come on now in the chat. Um, okay, so Dusty asked me, come on now. Dusty asked me to run the call today, and I said, hey man, I'm like, what are we talking about? He's like, hey, whatever you think is a good way to get people's Mondays going in the right direction. And so I love vague. I'm pretty vague myself. So let's get started. If you don't know me, I'm Tim Macy. I have been in real estate for 11 years. Sounds weird to say because I always felt like I hadn't been in the business that long, but now I realize I have. I've grown a large network at Real. I ran a team in San Antonio for about 7 years. And yeah, I mean, I've been through all the things I think real estate agents go through. But one of the things I want to talk about today are 5 year visions. I am really big on 5 year visions. And so I got my license in 2015. In that year, I got my license in March or April. I remember because my daughter was born in March, and I was getting my real estate license. I was mowing lawns and driving Uber and going to school for real estate. And I don't know if anybody else though like got their license and had no idea what they were doing. That was me. No idea what I was doing in my life, but I got my real estate license. And at the end of the year, end of 2015, we were filing our taxes, and we made $18,000 in 2015. I had just gotten out of the Air Force. We decided to stay in San Antonio, a city that I'm not from, didn't know anybody, all the things, and we made $18,000 in a year. Like, I don't know how we made it. I mean, I think we racked up a little bit of credit card debt, but yeah, we somehow made it through. And in that year, I was starting to listen to like Tom Ferry podcasts and all that fun stuff. And I knew you were supposed to make a business plan for the year. And I didn't really know what to put on a business plan for a year. I didn't really know what I was supposed to do. But I did have this thing in my head that I was going to make 20K a month by 2020 in cash flow. And I defined cash flow as somewhat passive income that took less than 8 hours a week of work. And I was going to make 20K a month by 2020. I don't know if it was going to be rental properties or Airbnbs or what, but that was my goal. We didn't make 20K that year, but I set this goal of 20K a month by 2020. And I made this little graphic of my daughter and my wife and like all this stuff, and I put the mountains on it because I love the mountains, and we put that in our room, in the little like corner of a room that I had for my office, in the bathroom. Like I had this thing that said 20K a month by 2020. I put it up everywhere. That was my big vision. It made no sense. It was not realistic. It was very unreasonable, but that was it. Over the next 5 years, I did some things right. I did some things wrong. I did some things well. And in 2020, I did the math. Our average cash flow a month was $17,000. And so I missed that goal. But holy crap, did I come a long way on my way to missing that goal? And we overestimate what we can do in a year. Like, let's be honest. Drop a 2 in the chat if you've ever made some big goal for the year in your business plan and then you missed it, right? Like, I'm going to make $1 bajillion this year. And you get all pumped up. You listen to a bunch of podcasts and hop on these Zoom calls and you're like, I'm going to go do it. And then you miss it and you feel like crap. We overestimate what we can do in a year, and we highly underestimate what we can do in 5. We overestimate what we can do in a year. We underestimate what we can do in 5. A great story, that's a recent one, which I don't know if he's talked about this publicly yet, but I was hanging out with Tamir last week. And he told us that he first thought about buying Remax in 2021. And Real was 1,600 agents, and Remax was 160,000 agents. 100 times bigger. I mean, Real, we were nothing. I was here in 2021. We were grinding, but Tamir was like, you know what? I think it makes sense for Real to acquire Remax one day. Crazy vision. And I kid you not, it's 2026. It's almost exactly 5 years later. And so I am just obsessed with this idea that you can accomplish pretty much anything with a great 5-year vision. And here's also why I think it's important. When you have a 5-year vision, the 1-year path becomes a little bit clearer, right? Because I don't know about you guys, but you ever wake up in the morning and kind of say, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do today? Like, I loved being in the military because I would wake up and I knew exactly what I was supposed to do that day. Every day, I knew exactly how to wear my uniform. I knew exactly where to go and what time I had to be there. And then I get into real estate and it's kind of like, whatever you feel like, right? And if you're like me, I get pumped up. I go to an event, I get fired up. I hop on and I listen to Dusty speak on a Zoom call and I get fired up. But motivation goes up and down. And so some days I am motivated and some days I'm not. But when you have a big 5-year vision that's unreasonable, what it does is that raises your standards. Because we know we can be motivated every day and all this, but we will fall to our standards. And so even, when I'm not motivated every day, I have pretty high standards, and I have those standards because I have big, crazy 5-year vision. And so some of us don't have a big, crazy enough 5-year vision. And so when you don't have a big, crazy enough 5-year vision, man, it's easy to let other stuff fall to the side. And the other thing that happens when you have a big, crazy 5-year vision is you start analyzing all the stupid stuff you do during the day. Does anybody drop a 3 in the chat if you're like me and also do stupid stuff? Yeah, the goal was 20K a month by 2020, and I called it cash flow that required 8 hours or less of work per week. That was the definition that I put around it. But we all do stupid stuff. And the problem is our current goals and our current vision probably allow us to do stupid stuff. So I was talking to one of the agents in our office, and I was like, hey, like, what do you want life to look like in 5 years? How much money do you want to have in the bank in 5 years? How much cash flow do you want to have coming in? How much time with your family do you want to have? And so we write it out of how much money he wants in the bank, how much cash flow he wants coming in, how much time with the family he wants, and we start to figure out what that would look like. How many rental properties would he have? And he would have somebody managing them. And okay, cool. Well, now all of a sudden, when you get really clear on that, he realizes I actually need to flip more houses because he would flip a house or two a year, and then he would make $50,000 to $60,000 on a flip. And if he wants to reach that 5 year goal, he realized, well, he's probably got to flip 5 or 6 houses a year, right? And be using that capital to pour back into rental properties. And if he's going to do that, then maybe he should spend less time doing open houses, and he probably should spend more time door knocking and pursuing off market properties. But the until you put that big crazy 5 year goal in place, you're probably still doing things that don't serve a bigger, crazier vision. And so there's this idea that when we set a big goal with a big vision and we actually figure out how crazy it would be to get there, we start looking at the time wasters that we're doing. We start analyzing the actions that we're doing because sometimes we do stuff to make ourselves feel good to check the box, right? So I may post on social media today to feel like I checked the box. I may go to a networking event to check the box. Like we do so many check box actions just to feel like we're doing something. But when you got a big vision that you're chasing and you're actually doing the math to figure out how you're going to get there, you start looking at those actions differently. Say, hey, if I'm going to flip 5 houses this year, that's one every 2 months. So let's say I'm going to flip 6 houses this year, then I need to find more deals. I need to start mailing the pre foreclosure list. I need to start, like, you start thinking about solving problems differently because you've set yourself a much bigger goal. That's what I'm talking about, Kelly. Set the big goal. Let's do it. And so after this week, after all the news, and after I've kind of looked at the things in my life, that's been on my heart is figuring out what your big vision is. Like, what do you want life to look like in 5 years? Who do you want to be positively impacted by what you do over the next 5 years? Like, whose life is going to be better? Not just yours, but who else's life is going to be better because of what you did over these next 5 years? You know, it's funny. I have this thing about personal brand. I believe that your personal brand is one of the biggest assets that you can build in business for sure. But it's the worst. Like building your personal brand is an awful activity because if I put myself out there as a real estate agent and nobody likes my content, it's like, oh, okay, that's just me as a real estate agent. I'm actually this other person. But when you're building your personal brand, that comes with authenticity, vulnerability, and putting yourself out there in a real way. And then if it fails, man, you feel like a failure, right? So building your personal brand is a lot more emotionally risky. It's easier to just sit back and be a real estate agent with no personal brand. But I can tell you, after doing this whole personal brand thing and sharing stories and doing all the pieces, um, there's far more people that have been positively impacted by my life over the last 5 years because I chose to put myself out there, build a personal brand, and be a little vulnerable and go out and help as many people as I can. And so I'm big on having a vision and all that other fun stuff. Um, but I think sometimes we don't believe in ourselves. And that's why sometimes we don't want to go put that big vision out there. Because every time you put out a big vision, every time you feel like you have a calling, every time you get pumped up about something like that, the next day, there's always going to be something that's going to tell you in the back of your head why you can't go get that vision, why it's not for you, why you don't have what it takes, why all the things, all the reasons, all the challenges are going to come up. There's no reason the guy who just got out of the Air Force that made $18,000 in 2015, that had no college degree, that had no idea what he was doing, that was in a city that he had no sphere of influence. There was no reason I should have been able to build a successful real estate business, right? But we know that if we push through, we can. And I just think that there's probably a lot of people on this call uh, that can make a very big positive impact on the world if you got a big 5 year vision. So, um, where do you want to go? That was my 15 minutes of rambling. I would love 15 minutes of conversation if you guys are up for it. Anybody up for it? Tigo, what you got, man?
I'll jump in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done this. We'll do a 1, 5, even a 10. Do you sit down and like do it, you and your wife, and go, okay, this is how do you do that? What's that look like? Do you do that
Yeah.
like yearly, or what do you do?
So, you're actually poking at one of my biggest challenges, which is I hit that 5 year vision. I've gotten more than I ever thought possible. And that's like, man, what next? Right? That's always a
Yeah,
fun one.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's a
you
big
know,
problem, huh? It's a good
yeah,
problem to have, but
blessed with the
yeah, yeah.
problems for sure. I will say this. I do. I'm pretty focused on the fact that it's 4 to 5 years. I've just seen too many instances of it play out. So this is not like a yearly activity. This should be an every 4 to 5 year activity. You're getting at something too. Like if you have a spouse, you have to be on the same page about it. Like you can't be chasing your 5 year vision that's different from your spouse's vision because that's a quick way to run in the wrong direction. Um, and so, and so when it comes to coming up with that, for me, like I'll go for a run. Like I love running, clears my mind. I think that's the other piece. If you are a visionary, you have to give yourself room to create a vision. And a lot of us are just head down in life, and we aren't giving ourselves the mental space enough to come up with what that vision could be. And so, to your point, we actually do for my wife's birthday. We're going to like a wellness resort thing, and yeah, that's like one of the things is getting clarity on what we want the next 5 years to look like. And so, this is not something you're going to get on this call. I don't expect Nancy to just say, "Oh, this is great. I got my like." No, this takes a while to really come up with your 5 year vision because it's what you're committing to. But I think the more clarity you have around it, the more unreasonable it is, and the more that you can get the people closest to you on board with it, uh, the better. Because I mean, you guys know how it goes. It's like our daughter's 2. We've got an open house. There's a birthday party. Like there's all this stuff going on. And you're like, "God, why are we going the extra mile? Why are we doing more than everybody else?" Well, we're going to do more than everybody else because I want more than everyone else. Like I want more for my life and I want more for the people around me. But in the moment, if you don't have that 5 year vision and you're not on it together and you're not together on it, then yeah, it becomes conflict. And not to say that there's never conflict, but it sure helps a lot when you're on the same page, knowing that you're chasing the same vision.
Yeah, and I guess I realize as you were saying that there's the personal and then there's the business, right? And they're kind of, I mean, obviously there's overlap with what we do, but
I think they have to be integrated. So I think work-life balance is a total sham. Like
I'm with you on
I
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've never had work-life balance. I mean, I worked to have the like I owe my life to my work and my work is my life, but if I do it right, it gives me a pretty good one, right? But to try to separate the two, especially in real estate, I think is a recipe for disaster. Because even now, my wife's out of the business more, but she's got to know what I've got going on and what's going on because like she's got to know why I'm stressed out. Right? Like we have to have some integration there. I think we do. I think we try to bring separation too much where you got to find integration in my opinion. Um okay, so good question. As you grow, how do you pivot and realign your approach? Um Here's the thing too. I always say you write your vision in ink and everything else is in pencil. So I knew that 20K a month by 2020 was the goal. And I had figured out I had found a couple deals for investors. And so I started to see how like, ooh, I could work for investors. I could find deals for them, that I could list the deals. And then at some point they'd probably let me JV and flip with them. So I was going to do JV flips. And then after that, I could probably roll into partnering up on rentals. Like I had this whole plan for how in 5 years I was going to have an entire portfolio of rentals. And I knew how to run it. Um, and then I joined EXP at the time, right? And I got lunch with an agent, and they joined EXP, and it was like a couple $1,000 a year. And I realized, wait a second, this rev share thing, bringing on an agent's like buying a rental property. And I can sure bring on agents a lot better than buying rental properties. And so that was like, oh, so same vision, right? The vision didn't change, but the way to get there, I'm always open-minded and keep my eyes open for how I can pivot to get to that. And then Real's obviously a good example, right? Like I'm cruising along and the vision's in ink, but I'm always, open-eyed, open-minded for how we can pivot to get there. But that's why that vision should be really grounded in the impact you want to make on the world and the impact you want to make on the people around you, because it will get shaken up. Like it's easy to get that thing shaken up, and so having something that's really strong that you can believe in, and knowing that you can pivot how to get there, is important. All right, what else? What's on your mind? What you guys thinking? Come on now. That was a dusty reference.
Okay, I'm going to say this because I'm sure
Yeah.
that this is something that people feel challenged by. Is I feel like when people are not confident with their 5 year vision and they're not sure how to figure it out, they tend to copy others.
Yes.
And as someone who has copied others, like I got into those mastermind rooms,
Yep.
paid for those super expensive retreats. And I will tell you that at the end of the day, you will figure out who you really are as you're trying to put yourself in shoes that are not meant for you.
I did you know this is one of my favorite things to talk about, or are you just messing with
Oh,
me?
I
Okay.
know, I know.
So one of I feel very blessed to grow up boxing. So I've been boxing since I was 6 years old. I had my first fight when I was 7. I just grew up in the boxing gym, going all these different places. And what's fun about boxing is you figure people out really quick because somebody comes into the gym and they like seem like they're very confident and arrogant or whatever. Like the ring tells the truth no matter what. So a lot of times the quietest guy, all that to say, I've always tried to look deeper on people. So there's what people say and then who people are. And a lot of times those are two separate things. And so I remember going to my first Tom Ferry conference. I didn't have money to go. I scraped together every last dollar just to go to Tom Ferry Summit. And I remember seeing people on stage that had the business I wanted, but I had been wise enough to realize and make sure, like, do they have the life I wanted? So it's like a bajillion dollars in GCI and da 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 da, and on their fourth marriage. Like you know what I mean? Like I just, and here's the thing, to your point, like I've taken great things from people, but just the pieces that are for me. And so that's the biggest thing too. Like you're listening to my story and what I'm doing, and you're listening to somebody else's story, and so and so. It's like, great. What piece of their story can you take for yours? But if you try to make your story their story, it usually doesn't really go too well. And the other piece that I like is I have this all the time. It's a weird thing, but I'll be at like a real event or something, and somebody will come up to me and they're like, I'm gonna do what you're an inspiration. I'm gonna do what you're doing. Like I want to do what you do. I want to go talk to people. I want to have the big agent, da da da. And it's like, cool, but I don't know if you want to do what I've done. Like I was shoveling out cat crap hoarder houses. I was doing social media classes at title companies for 4 people. Like, it's easy to see somebody's end where they're at now and forget all the crap they did to get there. And so again, I just say, like, take the pieces of people's story that are for you, but don't wrap yourself up in like a certain pathway or chasing somebody else's dream, because yeah, that's a sure way to run into a brick wall. All right, what else? Come on now. Give me some. Joanne, what do we got?
Hello. I was just going to tack on to what she just said is there's one of my very favorite quotes for my whole life is when writing the story of your life, don't let somebody else hold the pen.
Yeah. Yes.
And also, if you're struggling with confidence and you kind of know where you want to be, we do an extensive, long business plan. And if you will, and I know everybody's sick and tired of hearing about AI, but if you'll upload your business plan into AI, it will help you make that goal and focus in on it. And what I love about it is like when it gets done writing, and I'm like, damn, I'm a rock star.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it. Like it just gives you all the confidence you don't realize because you're just in the grind of everyday life. But when you start putting in like this, how do I get to my 5 year goal? It will break it down so macro that it makes it so obtainable to hit.
Just you guys keep bringing me these topics I love talking about. Um, Leveraging AI is huge right now, but I'm also seeing where it's going to go in a bad direction fast for people. And I say that because I think my friend Giselle at a conference said, if you use AI to replace you, it will replace you. And so I'm seeing more and more posts that are obviously just completely written by AI. Look, I was first to market on the AI avatar thing. Like they were playing my AI avatar video a couple of years ago and people thought it was mind blowing. Now I think drop a one in the chat if you know what an AI avatar is. Like I think there's yeah, so this is a thing. Like people aren't real, they're AI. And let's say you could do all these amazing things with AI avatars, but then once people find out it's not really you, like trust goes out the window, right? And then, same thing on these posts. Like you see all of a sudden, Tim Macy writes these books and like well thought out thoughts about things I don't really know about. And once people realize it's AI, they're like, oh, he's not writing his own stuff. AI writes that. And people's ability to pick it out will get better. And all that to say, back to your point, um, AI is an amazing tool to get you 50, 60, 70% of the way on a lot of things. But the magic is in the 30 to 40% that's you. And so I have a little checklist on Claude that I give it every day. And it's like, did I exercise this morning? Did I read this morning? Did I stretch? Because I'm getting older. I need to be more flexible. And then what my anxiety level is. And I just put that in there. And then it's like, give me some thoughts. And I give it some thoughts. And then it tells me a bunch of great stuff. Like it is great for keeping me on track. But the magic is in the 20, 30%. Like if I say, hey, this is what I'm feeling, write me a post, like it's going to write me something and I'm going to rewrite the whole thing. But it gave me the start, right? And so it's like you could say, hey, give me a business plan, and it's going to give you a business plan. But I'm telling you, at least from my experience, getting in there and tweaking it, getting in there and pivoting it, and getting in there and making sure it works for you is really important. And so I think there's this balance, Joanne, of like totally leaning on it for everything, and then being able to like get stuff from AI and use it along with yourself to go create something cool. But don't leave yourself out of it. Don't just take the one it printed, stick it on your board and start doing exactly what it says. Like make sure you make it your own. All right, what else? Oh yeah. Yeah, the AI emails. Yep. They're gonna keep coming. Um Anything else before we jump? Dave, what's up, man?
How are you, Mr. Macy?
I'm good. It's good to see you.
Good. It's great to see you too. Um, Something I've been doing a lot of work on lately, besides the Eric Hatch 55 hard,
Yeah.
is which is great. I just hit my 40th day yesterday, so it's working.
Nice.
But what I learned from there, and it goes along with your 5 year vision, is I've been embodying doing from a place of being. And what that looks like is like, who am I becoming? Be the person now who I'm becoming, Tim Macy, 5 years. What's it look like? And then do the daily actions from a place of being, not from grinding,
Mm-hmm.
not from, yes, we have seasons. I get it. But at the same time, doing your daily actions, doing our KPIs from a place of who we're becoming, it
Yeah.
makes it like motivation goes out the door because there's no motivation. You don't feel like doing things, but it gets you to do the boring work, the daily KPIs, because you're coming from that place of being and who you're becoming. And that's what I've really been focusing on working. So thank you for reminding me about this 5-year vision, because it's super important to get that down.
Well, I love that. And yeah, Nancy, I think we do have to wrap here, right? Is this a 30-minute call? I don't know. I'd be rambling. So, who you're becoming is far more important than what you're accomplishing. And I think accomplishments are just kind of the goalpost that we strive towards to go in a direction. But who you're becoming is far more important than what you're accomplishing. And the 5-year vision, all that other fun stuff, like that should just be things that drive you in a direction maybe faster and better and more efficiently. But at the end of the day, you know, if I lost everything tomorrow and no more money, no business, no nothing, uh, who am I? I'd like to think I'm a dad, a husband, and a friend to a lot of people, and not perfect at any of them, but like that's who I am, And I think all the fun stuff on business, all the fun stuff on the other, like, should drive you to be better on that core person. And if it's not, then don't do it. Is my take. So, look, I appreciate all you guys. This has been awesome. And if Dusty asks, tell him I did okay. So maybe he'll have me back sometime.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you guys. All right, we'll see ya.